As parents, we have a lot of challenges. How to get our children to listen the first time. Popular topic here about getting kids to listen the first time instead of the fifth time or the 12th time. I've got 5 tips today that I think will be helpful. Number 1, learn to think like a child. Sound simple? Well, here's what I mean. Why should your kids listen to you? Now, you've got 12 reasons why they should, but you're an adult. You're a parent. You've got all this life experience, and you know all the reasons why they should listen. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about why should your child listen to you? In their mind, learn to think like a child. Why should they? From their perspective. If you can't come up with a good reason why they should listen to you from their perspective, they probably can't either. And they don't think like you do. So think about this kid. And there's different developmental stages. I'm going to acknowledge that. But for the most part, kids are very efficient in their thinking. So when they hear something that's going to interfere with their regular plan, they're going to put it in a little algorithm where they get to decide, should I listen to this or not? Is this important or not really? Why should I do this thing versus why should I keep doing what I'm doing? Do you see how the child is thinking? Now, if they're doing something fun already and you've just invited them to do something that's not so much fun, why would they do that? Well, they wouldn't. That's the point. This is more fun. So from that child's perspective, learning to think like a child helps us to approach this in a way that gives them a compelling reason to listen and to respond the first time. Because they might be weighing it out, should I listen now or should I wait until mom's really serious? And how can I tell if she's really serious? Oh yeah, she yells. That's why they train us to yell. So from that child's perspective, why should I listen to mom? Why should I do this the first time? Let's give them a really good reason to do that. So usually that's tied to the consequence. We'll come back to that here in just a sec. Now let's go to number 2. Manage your affect. Manage your own affect, your emotions. Affect is the psychological word for feelings or emotions. Manage your own. If you're freaking out, if you're yelling and screaming, then you are out of control. Getting our kids to listen the first time implies that we as parents are coming at this from a place of what Nicolene Peck calls a calm face, calm voice, calm body. Calm voice, face, and body. That means you're controlling yourself. That models something really important for your children, and it also allows you to stay in a position of power as a parent because you're still in control, not out of control. If you're out of control, why should your kids listen to you? Well, they're probably not going to, is my point, because now you're out of control. They'll just kind of chill until they can see that they need to pay attention. Coming at it from a calm voice, face, and body communicates a real sense of power to that child, and it helps to keep you in a position of power as a parent. So manage your affect. Number 3. Now this is where it gets really exciting and powerful. We're going to tie consequences to communication. Tie consequences to communication. In other words, what we're communicating is a reasonable predictor now for that child of what consequences are on the way. Do you remember back in introductory psychology, if you had a class in intro psych, you probably learned about Pavlov and his dogs. In this experiment, Pavlov would ring a bell just before introducing food to the animal. They had some crazy apparatus that puffed a little meat powder or something into the dog's mouth right after the bell sounded. Well, what happened is the dog started to pair the consequence with the communication. The communication being the bell, bing, poof, puff of meat powder, okay, which caused them to salivate. Bing, food. Bing, food. We're pairing the consequence to the communication. What happened after that? Eventually, Pavlov could just do the bing, and the dog would salivate without the food being introduced at all. This is called a conditioned response. It's behavioral psychology. It's how we train our brain to respond to certain things. So what we're trying to do with our child is bing, the request, consequence. In other words, if I don't respond, I get a negative consequence. If I do respond, I get a positive consequence. Which one goes better for me? I say something to my child, boom, they respond. Why? Because we've trained them that the communication is followed by a consequence. And their behavior matters because the kind of consequence they get is determined by what their behavior is. That's what I mean by pairing the communication with the consequence. Another quick example of this, I did a video several months ago on bedwetting. You can link to that video right up here. And in this project that I did, this was my doctoral dissertation, folks. In this project that I did on bedwetting for my doctoral dissertation, I did the same thing. I was pairing a communication with a consequence to help kids overcome bedwetting. And in my treatment program, basically what we're doing is pairing the feeling of a full bladder with getting up and going to the bathroom so that they don't wet the bed anymore. Those of you who have kids who are bedwetting, you know what I'm talking about. If we can get them to get up and respond when their own brain and body sends them a signal of a full bladder, then we've solved the problem. Quite frankly, I don't even care if the kid wakes up, as long as bing, I feel those sensations that tell me I better get up and go, and then boom, the consequence and the behavior that follows. We were training kids to do this in their sleep. So this is a powerful concept as we tie the consequence to the communication. Now that ties right into number 4. And this is one I've mentioned before as well. Turning our words from garbage into gold. We want to increase the value of the words that we're using. The way that we do that is what we talked about in number 3, as we tie the communication to the consequence. That's what teaches kids that there is some important reason to listen to that communication that's coming from my mom or dad, because it's going to predict some kind of a consequence for me, and I better pay attention to that. Normally what happens here is that we get into a trap as parents. Kids start to esteem our words to be garbage instead of gold. Why? Because we say something and then nothing in particular happens. And then we say it again and nothing in particular happens. And then we say it again, usually a little louder, and nothing in particular happens. And when it gets to a certain level or volume, that's when the lights go on for the kid and he's like, oh, time to pay attention because now something's going to happen. And what did we just train them? That our words are garbage or gold? Well, the words are garbage. The tone of voice is what I need to pay attention to. See, kids are pretty bright. We want to reverse that training and get them to see our words as gold, not garbage. That means the words are delivered and the consequence shows up. Oh, these two things go together. The words are important. The words are gold to me if they predict what's going to happen. And we take the tone of voice out of it, so our tone is always calm and pleasant. Remember, number 2, manage your affect. Calm voice, calm face, calm body. And that's how we're going to turn the words from garbage into gold. Now, one final one. And this gets back to our main job as a parent. What is your job as a parent? It's to love them, no matter what. and even if. Love them no matter what and even if. So step number 5, let's put it this way. Work on the relationship. Work on the relationship. That is the most important thing. Kids need to know that they have someone in their life who is more powerful than they are. There's reasons why that's important. Who loves them. You think about how you feel if you know that there's someone in your life who is more powerful than you are and loves you. Oh, wow, that is a great position to be in. We want to provide that for our children. So as we work on the relationship, and remember, our job is to love them no matter what, and even if, that solidifies a position for them where when we speak, they listen. Can we get our kids to respond that first time? Well, sure we can. If we've got that kind of a relationship, and if we're using some of the other principles we've talked about in this video, you've got this. Parenting is one of those challenging things, and I'm so glad that you're here, part of our parenting community at Live on Purpose TV. We've got some other resources for you. Check out the description and come and check out our Parenting Power Up. I think you'll like it.